At 9:10 a.m., the calm of the Caribbean Sea was shattered. An American F-35 Lightning II, the most advanced fighter on the planet, was on a routine patrol. Suddenly, two Venezuelan Su-30 jets, the jewels of their air force, appeared at attack speed. What happened next was not a simple encounter. It was an impact. A Venezuelan missile struck the F-35. But the outcome of this aerial battle was not what Caracas expected. What happened in the next 15 minutes stunned the entire world and redefined air power in the hemisphere. On this channel, we analyze the battles that changed the game. We don't just show you the facts. We explain the technology, the tactics, and the decisions that led to the result. If you want to understand what really happened in that sky and why the U.S. Air Force responded the way it did, hit that subscribe button right now. You won't want to miss this analysis. October 28, 9:10 a.m. The Caribbean Sea looked calm. An F-35 Lightning II, call sign Viper 1, was patrolling international waters, protecting vital trade routes. Its mission, surveillance. Its technology, stealth, almost invisible. At 32,000 feet, the jet streamed gigabytes of sensor data per second directly to the Pentagon. Any trouble, a single coded signal, would awaken the USS Valor, an Arleigh Burke-class destroyer 150 nautical miles away, armed with 96 missiles. At 9:22 a.m., the first sign of an anomaly appeared. Venezuelan coastal radar operators near La Guaira detected a faint, but fast, contact moving at Mach 1.2. Within 90 seconds, alerts reached the Miraflores Palace. President Nicolas Maduro saw a single image, a gray silhouette marked F-35. His reaction was instant. This is a provocation. The storm had begun to form. At 9:42 a.m., the scramble order was given. Two Su-30 Mk-2V flanker fighters, the elite of the Venezuelan Air Force, each valued at $50 million, roared to life. The mission was codenamed Bolivar's Wing. Within 12 minutes, the jets were airborne, slicing through the Caribbean at Mach 1.5. One carried R-27R radar-guided missiles. The other, R-73 heat seekers. At 10:08 a.m., Venezuelan radar stations tracked both fighters closing in on the American contact. Meanwhile, aboard the F-35, the pilot, Viper 1, noticed two faint blips approaching fast. His voice stayed calm, but his fingers hit the emergency transmitter twice. Two hostiles inbound, requesting verification and support. A message leaped across the ether, traveling 150 nautical miles in 0.7 seconds, straight into the combat center of the USS Valor. At 10:15 a.m., the sky erupted into motion. The two Su-30s descended from the clouds with afterburners blazing. The F-35 was now alone. Inside the stealth cockpit, alarms flashed red. The Venezuelan lead fighter, Red Falcon, angled to lock on. His wingman, Iron Hawk, prepared for the kill. "Lock confirmed," the Venezuelan pilot shouted. At 10:16 a.m., a pair of R-27R medium-range missiles ripped through the sky at Mach 4.5. The F-35 pilot reacted instantly. He rolled left, dove 7,000 feet, and dumped chaff and flares in a blinding cascade. The first missile missed by less than 100 feet, detonating in a shockwave that slammed the jet sideways. The second missile kept hunting. With a desperate maneuver, Viper 1 banked again, but the warhead struck the right-wing root. The impact! The explosion shredded half the flaperon, tearing away $11 million worth of composite panels in an instant. At 10:17 a.m., the cockpit filled with warning tones. Hydraulic pressure dropped to 23%. Engine temperature spiked. The pilot knew the Lightning was dying. He thumbed the distress beacon. "Mayday! Aircraft hit. Transmitting coordinates. Preparing to eject." The encrypted pulse hit the USS Valor's combat center less than 1 second later. From the Venezuelan fighters, 25 miles away, the radar saw the contact flicker and vanish. Target destroyed, the controller confirmed. Cheers erupted in the base bunker. To them, it was a victory. To the Americans aboard the USS Valor, it was a declaration of war. The F-35, the most expensive fighter in the world, had been shot down. Venezuela celebrated the unthinkable. But the story wasn't over. The outcome that stunned the world was just about to begin. The American response would not be measured in words. It would be measured in fire. Stay with us to see what happened in the next 15 minutes. At 10:20 a.m., the distress signal from Viper 1 hit the USS Valor like an electric shock. In the Combat Information Center, every console flashed crimson. Rear Admiral Marcus Hale stared at the tactical feed. Two Su-30s retreating west, confident they had erased a $92 million American jet. His voice cut through the static. They fired first. Now we finish it. Within 2 minutes, Operation Iron Reply was authorized. The destroyer's 96 vertical launch cells hissed open. Target lock acquired. Two Su-30s, 47 nautical miles from the Venezuelan coast. At 10:28 a.m., 5 standard SM-6 interceptor missiles leaped into the air, traveling at Mach 3.5, guided by the Valor's Spy-6 radar. In the Venezuelan cockpits, the radar warning screamed. Missiles inbound. Multiple locks. Both Su-30s banked hard, dumping flares, twisting in 9G turns. One dove. The other tried to climb. But the missiles kept coming. Too many, too fast. The first SM-6 detonated 60 feet behind Red Falcon, shattering its tail fins. A second slammed into its fuselage at 2,600 miles per hour, vaporizing the aircraft. Iron Hawk tried to retaliate, firing an R-73 missile blindly, but the guidance failed amid jamming from the Valor's SLQ-32 system. The third and fourth SM-6s closed the distance in 14 seconds. The cockpit turned to fire. 2 seconds later, debris rained into the Caribbean. $100 million in aircraft reduced to ash. But Admiral Hale wasn't finished. "Strike the nest," he ordered. 2F divided by a -18E Super Hornets launched from the carrier USS George Washington, 210 miles north. Each fighter carried AGM-88 HARM and AGM-154 JSOW precision missiles. At 10:35 a.m., the Hornets dove over the Fuerza Air Base, where the Su-30s had launched from. The explosions were biblical. Hangars collapsed, fuel depots erupted, and the runway split open like paper. 185 soldiers and aircrew vanished in a chain of fire. When the smoke cleared, radar from Caracas went dark. The operation had lasted 15 minutes. From the USS Valor, Admiral Hale spoke quietly. "Mission complete. 2 hostiles down. Base neutralized. Let the world know the United States does not lose its wings." The F-35 pilot, Viper 1, was found alive at 11:56 a.m., retrieved from a life raft by a Navy Seahawk. The Pentagon confirmed the engagement lasted just 38 minutes. In Caracas, silence replaced outrage. Venezuela's remaining 14 F-16s were grounded indefinitely. The outcome stunned the world. Venezuela won the first 60-second battle, downing an F-35. But it lost the 15-minute war, losing its 2 best fighters, 185 personnel, and an entire airbase. The lesson was simple and eternal. In modern warfare, arrogance is not strength, it is ignition. We will continue to analyze these lessons, the confrontations that define our time. To ensure you never miss a critical analysis, join our community. Subscribe.